Nelson as we move on into the last round. These guys potentially playing for top 8 here in the Star City Games Open Series, Indianapolis. On your right is William Stevens playing Enchantress. On your left, Kenta Hiroki playing Wizards. We have Vendilion Click, Spellstutter Sprite, Snapcaster Mage, and Stoneforge Mystic. So it's like blue-white, but he's got Snapcaster Mage, he's got a Riptide Laboratory, a Moorland Haunt even showing up in Legacy. How about that?
Wow, really?
Yeah, Moorland Haunt.
Man, these cards are going everywhere.
You sort of feast and famine up a Moorland Haunt token, kind of like to live the dream with Stoneforge Mystic.
That is unreal.
But it's blue-white, no mental missteps, obviously, for very good reason. But it seems like Stifle has replaced that slot. Kenta's played a lot of the blue-white deck, and Stifle seems to have kind of filled the place where mental misstep would be. He expected a lot of combo, no doubt. Kind of surprised there isn't a second Riptide Laboratory, though. It seems like something this deck would play. It looks very similar to the Wizards decks of old. The Wizard, Mono Blue Wizard, Venser, Riptide Laboratory,
definitely
Shackles, etc. But all things you would kind of expect. Looking at the sideboard, nothing too out of the ordinary. 2 Flusterstorm, a little bit of commander influence there. But who do you think has the advantage here? Do you think it's Enchantress or Wizards?
I really don't know. I think at least game 1 I would say Enchantress because it's more centered towards one idea, and there's like cards like Swords and Batterskull and Stoneforge Mystic that don't seem like they're going to do that much. So, I mean, I always like the combo deck in game 1, but who knows? I really don't know much about it.
I feel like Enchantress is a little favored here. I feel like with Misstep, maybe Kenta would be favored, but without Misstep, Enchantress can do a lot of what it wants. A couple spell snares for Kenta, but I don't think those are particularly alive in this matchup. And looks like players drawing their opening hands, and we're off. Kenta leads off with a Mutavault. And William cracks his Wood Foothills.
Waiting to see what he's going to do.
I'm just going to get some kind of land. The question is, which land is he going to get here? Wants to make sure he can cast all of his spells, checks his hands. And looks like he's looking. Does he have cards backwards in there?
Oh, he has cards backwards.
We'll have to fix that up. He might have after like fixing a sideboard for last round, or just maybe shuffle once wrong.
He seems nervous.
Yeah,
very nervous, very shaky.
Yeah, I mean, if he's potentially playing for top 8,
and he's never done it before. Yeah,
never done it before. I mean, that is. Remember the first time he played for top 8 of a major tournament, and it is.
Yeah, I went up to Wizards. This is the first time I learned about how promotional this game is. I went up to the booth at Nationals. I'm like, can I not be featured next round because I'm going to be playing for top 8? And they actually laughed. They're like, no, you have to be.
Yeah, which actually you can drop if you would like.
Yeah, you don't have to play the match if you don't want to.
All right, and so William eventually settles on a gorgeous Ice Age forest. And there's the Mirror's Guile. So Mirror's Guile, for those who don't know, is the Sensei's Divining Top every upkeep. Every upkeep, you just get to rearrange your top 3 cards of your library.
That's pretty sweet.
So it gives you some card selection, so you keep getting the enchantments that you want.
All right, Mutavault comes in. Not the pressure that I would be afraid of if I was William.
All right. So the Kenta 2 lands, William land exploration, or sorry, land Mirror's Guile, rearranging some cards right now. And William's certainly taking his time. Enchantress is a tricky deck to play. It takes a long time. But he's going to have to speed up or he's going to end up with some slow play warnings. He's been playing incredibly slow so far.
Yeah.
All right. Draws a Blood Moon.
That's an interesting one.
Nice little 1-up bullet there. Certainly could shut off some entire decks in Legacy. Could you play against the bug deck and you Blood Moon them or something, and whew, it could be a rough time.
Yeah.
I think that was
Kenta's
Kenta being
even saying, like, you have to play a little faster. Look at how shaky he is. It's unreal. He didn't play
and so that's why
He has the enchantment land and he didn't play it.
Sarah Sanctum. Was he afraid of it getting wastelanded?
Yeah, I think he's protecting against Wasteland.
All right, so William looks at his top 3 with Mirror's Guile.
Wow, look at that.
And picks up a card. And now he's going to play the Sanctum?
Now
Okay.
he plays it. He plays it just to protect it for a turn.
So now he gets 4 mana. And there's Enchantress's Presence. And Kenta's going to pretty quickly force that.
Yeah.
Kenta, Michigan native, I believe, plays a lot, knows Ari, and loves his blue decks, especially his blue-white Stoneforge deck. I talked to him a little bit earlier on a break, and he said he's made some small changes, added Snapcaster Mages, and they've been really awesome for him.
Yeah, his deck looks really sweet. I think, I mean, everyone said that this deck was going to fall apart a little bit, but having Snapcaster Mage Stifle seemed like without Misstep you can still like operate at a decent level.
Kenta serves in for 2 with Mutavault, not doing much else, just making that 2 extra damage. Will bring William Stevens down to 13 life. Just attack enough times, get that damage in. William draws a card and finds another Enchantress's Presence, looks like. And once that comes down, that just
It's the engine.
yeah, it's just the engine. I mean, any of the enchantresses are, but the Presence is an enchantment too, which is always nice. And there's Enchantress Presence. Alright, Kenta makes the same play, attack for 2 with Mutavault. He hasn't been able to do much else, just stuck on lands. William Stevens down to 11.
Mm-hmm.
But now maybe
he gets all the time in the world. This is a great clock for him.
Yeah, I mean, plus William just plays that Blood Moon, those Mutavaults turn off.
Yeah.
So, William's in a...
Well, he still needs red mana somehow, right?
Yeah, but assuming he can find a land.
Mm-hmm.
Or, just play a Utopia Sprawl or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you don't know how the Enchantress deck works, basically you play Enchantress's Presence or something like Argothian Enchantress, and whenever you play a enchantment, you draw a card, and then you just draw tons of cards. You can various ways you can lock them out, and there's an Enchantress there for William Stevens. Taps the Sarah Sanctum for 4 mana. This gives you a mana for every Enchantress you control. It's the white Tellurian Academy, the white Gaia's Cradle. Plays Solitary Confinement, which is part of the lock. Solitary Confinement says prevent all damage that would be dealt to you.
And you can't be the target of spells or abilities.
And, yeah, you have Shroud. So, you skip your draw step, you have to discard a card every turn. But if you're drawing 2 cards a turn off all your Enchantresses, yeah, then you can just lock them out, make sure that they can't attack you anymore. Kent defines his 4th land, but under Enchantress's Presence, William is in pretty good shape. And William rearranges with Mirror's Guile, chooses to discard, I'm sure, with Solitary Confinement. And some questioning about how the Mirror's Guile and Solitary Confinement were stacked.
Is that a Chromux? It looks like a Chromux. What is that, though?
And it's Chromux. That plays 2.
Oh, I was looking through the list. I didn't see them.
Yep, plays 2 copies of Chromux. William discards another Solitary Confinement, doesn't want the redundant one. Alright, taps. Or plays a land out. I think that's another forest.
No, that's Chromux. Pitching Blood Moon.
I was going to imprint the Blood Moon, okay. And that gives him access to tons of mana. Let's see what he pulls out here. Usually Sigil of the Empty Throne is one of the main kill conditions, as well as Words of War. We could see either of those come out sometime soon. But for now, he really just wants to build up enchantments. There's the Words of War.
He does get a draw off one of them, right? Or do they both have to be coming into play?
No, it's whenever you cast.
Okay, so he will be able to draw off these?
Yeah, I'll draw 2 cards. The way Words of War works, you might not know what it does. It's weird enchantment. This deck plays a lot of corner case cards you don't really see anywhere else. It's a very linear strategy. Words of War is an enchantment that says 1, skip your next draw, deal 2 damage somewhere. So when you're drawing a bunch of cards, you just tap your Sarah Sanctum, activate it a bunch of times, draw 4 cards, 5 cards, then just burn your opponent out.
Yep.
So that's one of the strategies there. Kenta taps his island and goes for Brainstorm.
Yeah, so Williams is saying that those are still going to trigger, but in response to drawing, he's going to brainstorm. Might as well.
All right. So it points to brainstorm. Draws
Spell
Spell
Snare.
Snare. Stoneforge.
Kenta's really good at helping us out.
Yeah, he holds his cards in a way that's very useful.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kenta. And all right, brainstorm finishes resolving. That Stoneforge Mystic is going to be good for Kenta. It'll allow him to, well, I guess with Solitary Confinement play, actually, it's not going to do anything. Never mind, completely ignore that. Yeah, with Solitary Confinement out, trying to figure out what is Kenta's plan. He can.
He's dead. He's dead to it. He wants to see more cards.
He's actually just
Yeah, he's dead to it.
I mean, assuming that William doesn't fizzle for some reason, which is pretty difficult to do when you have 3 Enchantresses present.
If I was Kenta, I would concede already. Because he wants to make sure he can get through all the games.
Right, and these games take a long time to play out, especially with, no offense to William Stevens, but at his pace of play. I mean,
Williams is playing very slow.
I'm surprised the judge hasn't stepped in. Maybe they have and issued a caution or something like that.
And maybe Kenta's saying I'll play longer because the games are going this way. But I mean, once William gets comfortable enough to know he's just an engine, he will play at a faster pace. It's the early turns when he feels insecure. Because right now, look at him, he's not shaking as bad.
There's Stoneforge, sure. Stoneforge Mystic resolves.
Yeah, Williams that doesn't matter. I don't know why Kenta went to scoop here. I understand, and because when I'm in here, I say that a lot, right? And some of my pro friends even say that I concede too early in a lot of games, especially some practice games, something like that. I don't understand why people would continue playing a game like this. I might be too much on one spectrum, but I think this is a little. This hurts his chances of winning this match.
Right, and I mean, maybe you can play one more turn if you want, just to make sure that the last card in his hand is an enchantment or something like that. Or he's got several cards in his hand. I mean, he even has his engine and lock. The thing is, a lot of people are like, well, I don't want to concede this game. Maybe something will still happen. But you have to ask, is the 1% or less chance that's going to happen worth the much higher
20% chance that
the game's going to time out? Because you want to be able to win the match. I mean, that's your goal.
Draw is not helping these guys.
Nope. So, Solitary Confinement goes away. All right, William sacrifices his confinement.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that might be what Kenta was waiting for.
Wow. Why would he do that?
Because he has another one, I would guess. But he gets Force of Willed or something. Mm-hmm. Considering Kenta was actually just dead to a Solitary Confinement lock.
Yeah.
See what William chooses to do here. Taps.
Taps a ton.
3. Yeah.
He's got 8 in the pool right now.
Plenty of mana. Relax walking by, just locked up top 8. Pretty. Wonder how many games he lost today.
Grove gets Spellstorm.
Relax playing Storm said he's lost 3 games all day.
It's pretty insane. I think he's a great favorite for the top 8.
I think he's a big favorite.
He's one of the seasoned players, and
also made top 8 both days.
Yeah.
It's Tempered Steel yesterday. Could be more different.
Just couldn't pull off the Jerry
yesterday.
Couldn't pull off the Jerry.
Oh, winning both. Well, can't have everything.
Yeah. Or when Jake and I were talking about Oscar trophy hands. That's what Jerry pulled off, winning both tournaments.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Still looks like William's going to fetch up, finding a forest. All right, there's a forest. And I can't help but imagine there's another Solitary Confinement on the way. I don't think he would have cracked the first one if he didn't have a follow-up.
No.
Even then, I don't really like cracking the first one. I'd rather try and resolve the second one and then feel free to let the first one go away. All right. And William draws a bunch of cards. And gameplay continues. Enchantresses, I think it's Argothian Enchantress in William Stevens' hand. William also really needs to up his pace of play.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
I mean, he's playing slowly, and to top it off, I mean, same kind of theory for him, right? He's winning this game. He has to play it out, unlike Kenta, who could concede. He has to play it out. until Kenta's willing to concede. And if there's a game 3, he wants to make sure he can finish it on time. Enchantress is not a deck that wins quickly. So if even if you think you're making like a 90% play as opposed to the 100% play, if you're this far ahead in a game,
I agree with you on that completely.
Yeah, if you're this far ahead in a game,
you don't really need to make the optimal play every decision because your cards are generating so much card advantage that you just start putting them on the table and they go from there.
I mean, and obviously, you should make the best play whenever you can. But if you're this far ahead and you feel like you're pretty much a lock to win,
I mean, it's been his turn for the last 7 minutes, 6 minutes, right?
I mean, I've been keeping track, but
I think so. At least 5.
And all right, we're finally back to Kenta's turn. Plays what looks like a third Mutavault. I mean, we're not that far into this game for how long it's taken. And there's the one Repetitive Laboratory that Kenta has sitting out there, hanging out.
Stoneforge is not a wizard, correct?
Stoneforge is not a wizard. So the rest of the creatures in this deck are.
Yeah.
So William Stevens did not have a follow-up Solitary Confinement. He just broke his confinement.
I don't know what's going on.
All right, so Kenta activates Stoneforge Mystic, putting in Sword of Feast and Famine, activates Mutavault, and equips, and attacks. William Stevens is going to take the damage, drop to 6 life, and have to discard a card.
I bet Kenta's like, is this really happening?
I thought Kenta was just locked out, but I guess your opponent sacrifices Solitary Confinement and put him right back in the game. Kenta has some options now. He could try and lay a Jace. He could Snapcaster Mage, counter magic. Taps Mutavault. Or re-equips the sword to Stoneforge.
And says go. He's like, do your worst.
That's back to William Stevens. Let's see if he finds
something to do.
Alright, so he's going to use Mirror's Guile.
Maybe he had to crack it because he did fizzle. He did run out of things to do.
I mean, it's possible he ran out of things to do.
Yeah.
Seems rather unlikely. Considering he had a couple cards inside. Okay, I think he's got another confinement in his hand now. I think he's going to cast it right here. And it counts up his enchantments. And he's going to draw 4 cards off this enchantment. So every enchantment he has just says draw 4. It's a opportunity. Seems pretty good. It's like yeah, I don't know. It's pretty good.
You mean every card he plays is draw 4? Yeah. Seems decent.
I mean, I guess that's okay. Okay, so he's wrote down all the mana, finally cast Solitary Confinement.
Does it resolve?
That's the big question. Oh, and it resolves.
Yeah.
William's going to get to draw all those cards. And now, with all those cards, you should be able to lock the game out from here. William taps Forest to bring out
a Wild Growth that draws 4?
Drop better than Ancestral Recall. That's what we just cast. The green Ancestral Recall.
How does Kenta stand this? He's fighting for it, but he's losing so much time.
I mean, I understand when your opponent's at 6, it's so tempting, but your opponent is not going to fizzle at this point. Maybe he wants to see what his opponent's win condition is, but he sees Words of War in play already.
He sees it already.
I mean, Williams can probably just... I mean, at this point, if I were Williams, I might just start skipping draws to try and kill my opponent as soon as possible.
Well, I don't know about that. You can go pretty deep.
I mean, you're getting 4 draws every enchantment. Like, tap for 5 mana, play a Wild Growth, shock him for 8, then he's just dead next turn. There's no reason to be all theatrical about it.
Yeah.
Your opponent isn't going to have main deck clean fall.
Does he have sideboard clean fall?
He also does not have sideboard clean fall. He does have sideboard surgical extraction, which is certainly a big deal, especially with Snapcaster Mage. So, could potentially get something going on there. William Stevens is going to have to be pretty careful.
Just played Moat.
So plays Moat, Drew several cards off his Enchantress. Got a grip full of cards.
All right, and he's starting to use the Words of War.
All right, he's starting to use Words of War now, or is he just removing mana from his mana pool?
No,
He went over there to write earlier when he tapped the Sarah Sanctum, so I thought he might have been writing
he's
down.
still playing cards though. I bet he dealt some damage. Yeah, he dealt at least 2. Kenta goes down to 16.
Okay. So it started the process towards Words of Warring. What's that at the bottom? The library?
It's a moat.
Rest?
It's a moat.
No, they're at the bottom of Williams' library. That was moat.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Same card that was in play.
Oh yeah, that's what it looks like. Fair enough. Looked like a rest for a second. I was like, that's an interesting choice. Jason Lieber points out that Chrome Mox is a problem in Enchantress because it leads to getting clogged on solitary and confinement. You have to pitch a good enchantment, even though it accelerates you. Could be an issue. We this game maybe he wouldn't have had to do that. He wouldn't have had to sacrifice his original solitary confinement. In any case, Elephant Grass comes down for William Stevens. Kenta Hiroki at 12. And at this point, if you're Kenta, you just absolutely concede.
Yeah, there's no reason to play this. Like, I actually don't. I don't understand it. I mean, he's hurting his chances of winning this match every minute he stays in this. Not only is William playing very slow, but Kenta's not helping it, allowing him to take that much more of the clock. He's eating so much of the clock up on accident, but.
All right. William looking through his hands. All right, Kenta draws. He's probably just going to concede, right? No, it doesn't look like it. He's a valiant warrior. All right, passes the turn back to William. And hopefully William just kills him right here. All right. And all this stuff is going on. Words of War is going to trigger a bunch of times.
Gonna shoot him a lot.
Just gonna shoot down Kenta. Plays an enchantment. Draw a bunch of cards. All right, Kenta finally concedes, and they're off to game 2. Now the players are gonna sideboard. Let's dive right into the sideboards here. Let's start with the Enchantress player. How do we think he's gonna sideboard?
I don't know. Like at all. I don't know. I don't play Enchantress.
All right. Well.
I mean, I don't know really what can come out, what can go in.
Right. I mean, the deck is super tight on slots. It's also not clear you know what all of these cards do.
I didn't actually.
I'm pretty sure if most of these were on the gather random card.
No,
game,
I can get them all. I can get them all.
All right. Dubscape.
Dubscape. 3 blue white. Whenever a sorcerer instant is played or non-creature spell is played, you put that many tokens.
Vexing Shusher, you know what that does. And Lighten Tutor, you know what that does. Ground Seal.
It's the destroy an enchantment or artifact, but it's a green enchantment.
Not even close.
It's an enchantment.
Yes, an Enchantress deck.
Ground Seal.
All right, missed 1 of 15. You know what Wheel of Sun and Moon does?
Yes.
Right? Tormod Script, you know. Choke, you know. Karmic Justice.
It's a Wrath spell.
Nope, not even a little.
Oh wait, no, it's an enchantment.
Well, now we're getting somewhere.
It has like a sweet guy from Arabian Nights on it.
Nope. Sorry, Brad.
It doesn't?
No. All right. Aura of Silence.
Colorless white enchantment, 2 more mana.
Okay. So you don't know what those two do. Let's see if there's any in the main deck.
I know the last 2, yeah.
Let's see if there's any in the main deck you might not know. Replenish.
Bring them all back.
All right. That's good enough for me. Sigil of the Empty Throne.
4/4 beaters.
Okay. Mirror's Gal.
I know all these ones.
Elephant Grass.
Oh yeah, I know that one from that. Elephant Grass. Black creatures can't attack.
All right, you know what it does in general. Mirror's Guile. What does that do again?
It's top.
Okay,
Top.
We just learned that game. All right, so Ground Seal is 1G for an enchantment.
I was close.
When it enters the battlefield, you draw a card. And cards in graveyards can't be the target of spells or abilities.
Okay, yeah, I remember that one.
Karmic Justice is white too, and whenever a permanent of yours is destroyed by an opponent, you get to kill a permanent.
Oh yeah, I remember that card. That was insane.
Yeah.
Like it was like when I was really bad at Magic, I thought it was awesome against LD.
Sure. So, gather a card game, everybody. If you missed it earlier, that was pretty awesome.
It was a ton of fun. All right, so
I mean, well, real fast. We never actually got to how Williams should be sideboarded.
we have no clue. Let's talk about Kenta.
All right.
All right, so Kenta has 2 Surgical Extractions, a Crucible, and Flusterstorm. Any of that stuff come in? Doesn't seem so.
Well, Flusterstorm definitely doesn't come in. Only
Because
kind
it's
of
only
instant
instant
sorcerers.
sorcerers. Yeah, it seems pretty weak in this matchup.
Oblivion Ring comes in for sure. It kills
Oh
enchantment.
yeah, Oblivion Ring.
Crucible, he doesn't have that many non-basic lands, but being able to loop Wasteland could be good, I guess. Depends how many cards you want to take out. If you're cutting 3 swords to Plowshares for sure. So, I mean, that's at least 3 cards you can take out. And then you're going to bring in 2 Surgical Extractions and Relic of Progenitus.
Yeah, Relic seems fine.
Maybe Relic.
Cantrips.
I'm trying to think. Is there anything that does with graveyards? I don't think so. Oh, Replenish, right. Yeah, that's kind of a graveyard thing. 2 Surgical Extraction, Relic of Progenitus. I'd bring in those 3. The 4th card would be Oblivion Ring. So I think you bring in those 4. You got the 3 swords, the Plowshares. But you maybe cut a Stifle. Maybe you cut... Spellstorm doesn't have a lot of targets. It might cut a Spell Snare.
It has important ones though, right? Like the Sterling Grove thing.
Sterling Grove is kind of important. It's not insane. Oh, you can hit Enchantress with it. Never mind. Yeah, I just cut a Stifle probably. Like you can hit fetch lands, but there's not a ton of things you can hit with it. And it's like a fine choice. All right, sounds good. So that's how he's going to sideboard. Well, then I'll talk about how I think William Stevens is going to sideboard, and we can leave Brad Nelson out of it. So I think three Vexing Shusher. Good chance he's going to want those. He can turn Counter Magic, especially if he expects Surgical Extraction to be a player. He does have Enlightened Tutor package and plenty of one of enchantments to go get if he wants to.
Sure.
Choke. Is that any good here?
I mean,
No,
it's kind of fine. I mean, he does have a lot of like
okay.
middles and stuff. It's actually probably not that bad, right? Because this isn't like Merfolk where if your islands are shut down, they're shut down.
Yeah. Oh, it's bad. Kenta doesn't have a good way to pick up permanents, so I could see him bringing in those. Maybe one moat goes away. Maybe the Runed Halo goes away. Not sure exactly what you're taking out outside of that, but the game is afoot. So Island for Kenta Hiroki, and William cracks fetch land. Goes to get a land.
No Stifle.
No Stifle from Kenta Hiroki.
It's gotta suck.
It's a forest. Hands it back. Gonna go for a turn 1 enchantment.
All right, no mental misstep.
Yep, nothing to worry about there.
All right, so Utopia Sprawl on the forest. Betty's gonna name a different color than green.
Alright, so we don't know which color he named. Probably white, maybe red.
We might find out next turn.
I'll tell you in a little bit. I'm just very flustered right now. I'll talk about it in a bit, all right? You have to be
All right, that's a
23 and
plains.
younger. What? You have to be 23 and younger. Never mind.
Taps those 3. And there's Enchantress's Presence.
Turn 2 Enchantress Presence.
Yeah,
And there's a Force of Will.
alright, well you gotta force that.
Yeah, that can't hit play this early.
Absolutely have to force that. And if Kenta finds Surgical Extraction, you can strip all those away. Which is
That's
actually
one
fairly
half of the engine.
Yeah, that's a big deal. So yeah, forces that, it goes away. Remove Spell Stutter Sprite to do so. Draws Mutavault, I believe. Mutavault comes down.
All right, and he needs 1 land, then he can get the Jace and maybe start getting a ton of card advantage.
Yeah, and you get so many cards out of that Jace, especially because William can't really interact with Jace very well.
Yep.
He has Oblivion Ring, I suppose, but outside of that, not a lot he can do. Taps 1, 2, 3.
2.
Oh, untaps his. Untaps, taps, untaps. Alright, another Utopia Sprawl.
1.
1 mana floating. See what color he names on the Sprawl. His border doesn't turn red like Magic Online, so.
should. All right, 2 in the pool.
And
Sterling Grove. Gonna get spell snared. Oh, Ruined Halo.
Ruined Halo. What do you name with Ruined Halo?
Mutavault, probably.
Not
Chase.
convinced. I'm not convinced on leaving in the Ruined Halo.
I'm not convinced spell snare in the Ruined Halo. It's a target, sure, but
I think a lot of players get really excited about their counter magic. They like have the situational spell. They're like, I'm not really excited about these spell snares. So their opponent presents it. They're like, oh yes, I will cast this. But in reality, spell snare seems awesome, especially if Kenta has surgical extractions he could use. You want to be able to spell snare Argothian Enchantress. I would not spell snare that Ruined Halo. I don't think it's very relevant.
it's good advice. I should stop, in limited fleshers and my opponent's turn 2 Goblin Pikers. I'm like, got there.
I mean, you can name Jace with Ruined Halo, but I just don't think like getting Fate Sealed out is that relevant, especially because it seems like Williams probably has like he's either the agency he's going to draw. I mean, you can try and Fate Seal them away, but
All right, let's
Let's
see what
see
the
what
card
he's
is.
gonna
Choke.
all right, that's choke. Gonna choke down
And
only one of Kenta's lands, but
that's a big one, though.
this is only
Ooh,
blue
Wasteland,
source.
I think he's just going to, all right, start attacking you for 4.
All right, Mutavault Bash. You're down to 13. New plan. Same
It's a
plan as
good
last
plan.
game. But anyway, I feel like with Jace, you're not going to get Fate Sealed out that often. I mean, I could be totally wrong. I haven't played this matchup before.
I think you can easily get Fate Sealed out. If you don't have any action in your hand, they just make sure you don't draw any of it. They give you every single card that doesn't cantrip or get you a card drawer engine.
There's Argothian Enchantress. But if they have one in their hand, it doesn't really help you at all because so many other cards are redundant. So, like, it's basically gambling that they don't have an Enchantress in their hand. I just don't know if I would... Like, for example, I would much rather Spell Snare that Argothian Enchantress.
Well, you have Vendilion Clicks, right?
Sure, but I mean, with the way that game state was progressing, Vendilion Click was less of an issue. I don't know. I mean, obviously, you can always get Fate Sealed out by Jace.
Yeah, I mean, that Rune Halo would have probably named Mutavault, and that's the card that's winning right now.
Our Moat comes down. That'll shut down those Mutavaults. Also, make sure Argothian Enchantress doesn't attack.
I love this format. It's like, the coolest thing I think about it is every single match we see a different deck, and one of them smashes the other one. Like, it's just over and over again, terrible matchups. Like, I just feel like, this deck has no chance of beating Enchantress, like, at all. Do you have an opinion?
On Blue-White? Being
On-
Enchantress?
Yeah, like in this format, it just seems like there's so many matchups that are just blowouts.
Yeah.
Like constantly, there's just like we get a pairing because there's so many decks and so many decks have like good and bad matchups.
Well, I mean, I think often really what it is with the combo decks in particular, the combo decks are really very good at blowing other decks out because either it's a good matchup, they don't have hate for you,
Yeah.
you get a good draw, etc. When two fair decks fight, even when like Merfolk versus Zoo fight, even though Merfolk is favored or Merfolk is unfavored, it can still win.
Yeah.
But when you've got an insane combo deck, it can be a complete blowout game. And Legacy is certainly full of combo decks. So games can look like blowouts, even though they're just accomplishing their goal earlier. Because Control fundamentally wins on a turn, whereas Combo actually wins on a turn.
Yeah. It's very true. So what turn is Kenta going to win this?
Well, if he wins,
What turn is he going to fundamentally win this?
well, not this turn, that's for sure. If Wizards is going to fundamentally win, he's going to be a long time from now. Perhaps,
Tomorrow morning.
yeah, I mean, he's got a clean fall or something, which he doesn't have. Dealing with all those enchantments, it's a problem. Most people do not come prepared with their enchantment hate, and for good reasons, not really the deck you want to prepare for. It's hard to build Enchantress. Moats are expensive, so a lot of players don't have them.
Mm-hmm. All right, so
Yeah, grip full for William Stevens. He has all the things right now.
surprisingly, he's shaking less since he's been dominating.
Yeah, I mean, I think if it was his first feature match, like game one, they kind of had to ease into
for
it.
sure.
It's also possible the judge just gave him a reminder he needed to play a little faster.
Mm-hmm.
And his play has picked up at pace this game.
Oh yeah,
which is good. A little more reasonable.
He definitely has 3 times the amount of permanents he did by the time last game.
Yeah, and things are looking pretty grim for Kenta Hiroki.
Yeah.
Just drawing cards all over the place, has a completely full hand. Mode is down, so the Mutavault plan doesn't work. Enchantments can't even be targeted because of Sterling Grove.
Mm-hmm.
So, what is Kenta's out here? I mean, he's got one Oblivion Ring.
The exit.
He has one Oblivion Ring, maybe he could get to play with. Otherwise, I mean, he can maybe hope that William messes up somewhere. But with Moat, he can't accidentally sacrifice it. So.
Yeah, no, it's a rough one. I don't really know how he gets out.
I mean, he can build up a board.
I guess technically Batterskull, it's a 5/5, isn't it? Because the 0/0 becomes a 1/1, and then it gets +4/+4.
What?
How does Moat work again?
Creatures without flying can't attack you. You're thinking Humility.
Oh, okay, that's Moat. Okay, I'm thinking Humility. And that's Moat. Creatures without flying can't attack.
Yeah, creatures without flying can't attack. Creatures without flying cannot attack.
Oh, there's the win condition.
And there's the sigil, so William should have this game in pretty short order. You just play a bunch of enchantments, get a bunch of 4/4s, and
say go.
I mean, I was gonna say maybe Kenta has a weird out where he like builds up a board, Oblivion Rings the Moat, and then attacks, but that sigil should lock the game up in the next 2 turns.
I really don't know how you build that board position when Williams is drawing like 10 cards a turn and playing 5 of them. Alright.
Alright, so there's a Wrath in Kenta's hand, which is going to buy him a little bit of time, but it's not going to ultimately accomplish anything.
He has a Wrath in his hand?
I believe there's a
Why
Wrath.
would he bring in Wrathagon in this matchup? Just to get their Gothian thingies?
Yeah, I mean, I guess killing the Enchantress is really important.
Sure.
If you cut them off of that, they have Shroud, you can't target them, but if you can cut them off of the Enchantresses, it's going to pass the turn. And Williams is going to rearrange his deck with Mirror's Guile. And this turn, I imagine we'll see Kenta concede within 1 full turn cycle. Williams going to go off this turn, maybe 2 because he has that Wrath, but Williams going to essentially go off this turn, make a bunch of 4/4 Angels. On Kenta's turn, he's probably going to Wrath, Williams going to make a bunch of more Angels, and then Kenta will concede. So we're looking at about a 4-turn rotation window for this match.
Yep.
And alright, William draws his card. Thinks about what he's going to cast in what order. Start with Wild Growth probably, that's what I see at the front of his hand. Just want to make sure all your mana gets built up. Alright, so he taps a Utopia Sprawled Forest, double Utopia Sprawled Forest, for Wild Growth on a forest.
Alright, makes a 4/4, draws 2 cards.
Seems fair for a single green.
Seems like these cards came out like in the last year or 2.
And draws 2 cards.
Did he draw or elect not to?
I'm pretty sure he drew. Alright. So is that what enchantment is that?
Enchanted Presence.
At the very bottom of the screen?
Oh, no. What bottom?
Oh,
of the
that's
screen?
Chromox, sorry.
Oh, okay.
Alright, so he's got 2 4/4 Angels now.
Draws a bunch of cards.
Two Enchantress Presence. Argothian Enchantress. Let's see. Sterling Grove. It's another 4/4. It's building up that 4/4. So William just needs 2 more 4/4s to threaten lethal. Doesn't need to do more than he needs to. I don't know if I'd be drawing all these cards. I'm pretty sure the draw on Enchantress is mandatory, or is not
Let's take a look.
mandatory. I don't think Enchantress Presence is mandatory. I don't know if I'd be drawing all these cards. You don't want to risk. Like you're gonna have to discard a bunch of cards at the end of your turn, and if you're just discarding excess enchantments, those are just cards you don't need to have in your hand. I highly doubt it's going to matter, but just something to consider. You don't want to get into a weird situation where Kenta can like wrath you like a bunch of times, and then like you're like, oh, I'm out of resources. Enchantress Presence. No, it is mandatory. How about our Gothian? Argothian Enchantress.
Most of them are mandatory back in the day.
Yeah, both of them are mandatory. All right. Well, no choices then. No holds barred. Got to do it. Taps the Forest, Utopia Sprawl. And here comes. All right, another Utopia Sprawl. So it gets another 4/4. Gonna draw some cards. So I should have 5. She should have 5 4/4s now, which
Who
is
should?
lethal. I'm pretty sure William should have 5 4/4s. I assume he's keeping track, but I think he gets another 4/4 now. Yeah, there we go. And now that's lethal, so he doesn't need to go for it again. He can certainly just discard, end the turn, see what Kenta could do, which is Wrath in this case. See if William continues to go.
I mean, I don't even think. Can William Wrath?
Kenta?
Can Kenta Wrath? I mean,
Alright, he's got a Misty Rainforest untapped.
and does he have? I can't remember if he has 6 suns untapped or 5.
Well, he has a bunch of lands untapped, but most of them are not blue because of the choke.
Mm-hmm.
And he only has 1 plains in his deck, which I don't believe is in play. Yeah, choke locking.
I'm not gonna lie. I kind of like tuned out a little bit and just start watching after, Williams went crazy right here.
Well, William quite unloaded this turn, did the very Enchantress thing. Alright, now he cracked Enchantress's presence.
It'd be inappropriate if we played the Gather game right now, wouldn't it?
Very inappropriate.
Okay. Just curious.
But we will play some more Gather game at some
Okay.
point. When we have time. Alright.
That's not many cards left in his library.
Yeah, Words of War is going to put on top. Now, Words of War does prevent him from decking, though, as long as it's
Yeah.
on the battlefield, because he can just skip all of his draws.
Yep.
As long as he doesn't miss any, he's good. Alright, Words of War on top. Flips back over. And William taps for 3 mana.
I'm gonna play a spell to get that Words of War in his hand
Yep, and then play the words.
if he has still floating mana.
Oh man, so many cards are in William Stevens' hand right now. It's insane. He's looking at another moat. Alright, plays another moat, just in case. Draws several cards. 2, 3. Alright. Maybe he's gonna play the Words of War here. And I'm not sure if William has any mana floating or where he's at exactly mana-wise right now. Alright, Words of War comes down,
Makes another token.
makes another token. I think he might have missed one somewhere, but alright.
Sure.
He did some more tokens. I mean, at some point it's lethal. Draws a bunch of cards from his Enchantresses. And then he's going to pass the turn and let Kenta Wrath him. Oh, man. Alright. William has like a hand, pretty sure it's bigger than his deck, so he's got to take a second here to figure out what to discard. And I'm pretty sure half of his hand could probably just be safely discarded without any concern. I was going to play Chromox. I guess, yeah, just puts you up in mana. Pitches Argo the Enchantress. Taps for... well, doesn't tap for anything yet.
Alright, pitches a green card.
Taps for green. And yeah, man, Williams' board is pretty full.
Yeah. And this is like a 10-minute turn.
And this turn, some things happen. Just Affinity eat your heart out. Like you thought your Frogmites were good. Alright, plays Wild Growth. He's gonna skip some damage and draw some cards. Oh man. He's out of angel tokens.
Yep.
Had to turn one of his bird tokens into an angel token. Wow. Alright, I think Williams might finally be discarding. Okay, I think he's choosing which cards he wants to keep. Choose 7.
We finally made it to cleanup.
Still resolving cleanup. You know,
How long do you think Kenta's turn is going to be? I'm going to guess 45 seconds.
that long. I see it does. We'll have
That
to break
long?
That. He will have to break that fetch land.
That long?
If he has a second source, he'll have to break that fetch land. So if I can see that. Counting shuffling time.
Yeah.
He tried to untap his island. His island is not untap. I don't blame him for forgetting about the choke either.
Yeah.
But did you know you can take infinite cleanup steps?
What do you mean infinite cleanup steps?
There's a way you can do it in the rules. All right, so William Stevens takes that match pretty handily over Kenta Hiroki.
Yeah.
Enchantress just smashes the Wizards player. And